Professor.
Just give me 1 minute. Nobody has joined yet.
Pardon?
Nobody has joined yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I know for sure one student is coming. At least that was their intention earlier this morning.
Yeah, we are like 4-5 minutes early, so maybe they will join.
Yeah, I'm anticipating they will show up. They being most of the regulars.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start with the video and then you can continue.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Morning, Janet. Well,
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well. I guess it's high noon now, minute away.
Almost.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll start the video.
Okay, thanks, Clarissa.
Thank you for attending this Connect Together event. During this event, we have automatic closed captioning available. Please go to the bottom of the Zoom meeting, click Live Transcript, and then Show Subtitles to turn them on. Before we begin, we'd like to take a quick moment to let you know how you can join an opinion research panel made specifically for British Columbians living with disabilities.
For 25 years, the Disability Foundation has been fostering meaningful experiences for Canadians with disabilities through outdoor recreation, social connectedness, innovative adaptive devices, and more. Today, we are asking, how has the pandemic affected you? Help strengthen decision makers' understanding of your needs and experiences by joining an online opinion research panel consisting solely of people with disabilities and their caregivers. Make a difference in your community today. The Disability Foundation. Reimagine what is possible.
Did you know? Young adults with disabilities have a harder time getting hired. Break down barriers by sharing your story. Take our survey.
So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a seated adaptive yoga practice. Thank you for joining me. And for those of you who might be joining today that I haven't met yet, my name is Bobbie. I am a certified yoga therapist and an adaptive yoga teacher. And I've had the privilege and the joy of teaching and sharing adaptive yoga I think since about 2013 now. So it's been a few days. And just as even more than ever, I'm in love with and passionate about sharing this lovely practice of yoga with whomever would like to participate, check it out. And so one of the things that I like to share is that yoga is India's gift to the West. So I like to honor the lineage, the teachings, and all the wonderful teachers that I've had through the years who have made it possible for me to be here today and to share this practice. And not the least of which is the Disability Foundation and ConnecTogether for providing this opportunity. So anyway, all that said, as always, an invitation to begin your yoga practice by finding a comfortable sitting position. Sit in a way that you feel the most at ease. It is challenging for our nervous system to calm down if we're uncomfortable in our bodies. And then as ready as possible, an invitation to bring your hands into prayer pose at your heart center. If this placement of your hands makes you lose your balance, choose another placement for your hands. So it might be that you feel better with your hands on your Buddha belly. A gentle reminder that we never forfeit balance to come into a pose or movement. And so let's lift our heart to our hands, bowing our head to our heart. An invitation to take a moment to allow yourself to consciously enter into the present. Setting aside whatever concerns or worries you have before the yoga practice for the duration, knowing that you can come back to that after class. And then as ready, release your arms down by your side. And then shake your hands vigorously. So wiggly fidgets. And so if anything I share with you today does not feel comfortable, if it doesn't feel right, skip it and come back to your breathing. So when we're focused on our breath, we're practicing yoga. And so you are the world-class expert on your own body, mind. And so there's a principle in yoga called ahimsa. And ahimsa is a Sanskrit word that means non-harming. And so body, mind, and spirit. And so if pain comes up, not pushing through the pain, and maybe exploring backing off a little. Notice how that feels. Maybe coming out of the pose or the movement altogether, and see if you can come back into it a little more gently or slowly. Or it might be that it's just not the pose or the movement for you today. And so there's always a way, a modification. That's the lovely thing about yoga. And so if you're not actually doing the movement today, I'd like to invite you to visualize the movement. So imagination is powerful. Feel as though you are doing it. And that might be a lovely starting point. And so at this time, I'd like to invite you to walk your hips forward in a chair. So come forward about 2/3 of the way if that's available to you and you would like. Alternatively, if you're needing or would like the back of the chair for support today, honor that. And so I did bring my yoga mat. And so one of the lovely ways that we can use a yoga mat is to roll it up and to place it along our spine. And so this might be a nice way for some of you to start your practice. And so let's roll our shoulders back and down just a few times. Soften your gaze. Ground down through your sits bones. Soften through your abdomen. Lengthen up through your spine. Lift up through the crown of your head. And so let's from here transition into a practice of mindful movement. As ready, reach your arm up to the sky. So reaching up as high as feels comfortable for you, or maybe visualizing movement today. Feel as though you are doing it. And slowly float your arm down. So 3 more times, same side, reaching up to the sky. Slowly float your arm down. Let's explore linking our breath with our movement. This time on inhale, reaching up, full length of your inhale. On exhale, float your arm down, the full length of your exhale. So as if on our inhale, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end point. On exhale, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Relax both arms down by your side. Rest your hands on your thighs or your knees, and we'll begin a gentle movement on the other side. As ready, reach your arm up to the sky. Slowly float your arm down. Gentle movement, reaching up to the sky. Slowly float your arm down. So let's explore adding a gentle breath to the movement on inhale, reaching up, full length of your inhale. On exhale, float your arm down, the full length of your exhale. So as if on our inhale, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end point. On exhale, a beginning, a middle, and an end. Relax both arms down by your side, and this time, if you'd like, and it's available to you, reaching both arms up to the sky. Take a look between your palms and notice if they're facing each other, if it doesn't create tension in your neck. And then return your gaze on the horizon. So it's not about forcing one limb to do what the other is doing. We just want them talking to each other. Fold your fingers in, pressing into the palms of our hands. There is a marma point, a sensitive point in the palms of our hands. Or maybe it feels okay to place your hands on the back of your head. And so today I'm just going to press into the palms of my hands. And together we can shout out, and I can't hear you. I am. I can. And I will. And with this sigh of relief, float your arms down. And a little shake out again. So wiggly fidget. So a little more vigorous this time. Maybe a little bum dance. Wiggly fidgets. And so let's repose. Ground through your feet. Center and ground through the soles of your feet. And so we want to keep our connection with Mother Nature. We tend to start losing that. Root down through your sits bones. Maybe notice where your bum and your thighs are in contact with your seat. And so Matthew Sanford, who is a person with a disability that I trained with, and the spinal cord injured, would say that you have to go down to go up. And so lengthen up through your spine. Roll your shoulders back and down. Lift up through the crown of your head. And so it's ready, an invitation now to turn your gaze downwards. So you might look down at the floor 3 or 4 feet in front of you. Or maybe it feels comfortable to close your eyes softly. And we'll transition into a practice of breath awareness. And so moving away from the busyness in our minds and more towards our heart. An invitation to bring a gentle awareness to your breath without changing anything. You might notice that as we inhale, things expand. On exhale, things contract. Notice, is your breath long? Is your breath smooth? Or is your breath jagged? So breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Or maybe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Or if it feels better for you, breathing in and out through your mouth. If you are congested or you have an obstruction, of course, breathe in whatever way you can. And then from here, an invitation to gently blink your eyes open. You release your arms by your side. We'll shake out again. Woohoo! It's yoga time. And so sitting comfortably, effortlessly upright, let's transition into a warm up. And then from there, we'll transition into some strengthening and stretching. And then I'm going to come down off the mountain towards the end of the class with a guided meditation and your final relaxation. And so for the warm up, let's begin with simple neck rolls. And see if you can resist the temptation to move your head to its full range of motion. So these are gentle movements. As ready, rotate your head the opposite direction. Your Buddha belly is soft, breath is quiet. As ready, bring your head back to neutral, and then move your head gently up and down. So maybe on inhale, looking up. On exhale, drop your chin towards your chest. On inhale, look up. Exhale, drop your chin towards your chest. As ready, bring your head back to neutral, and then drop your ear towards your shoulder. If you'd like, and it's available to you, release your opposite arm by your side, turn your palm face up, and take your fingertips to your shoulder. Slowly float your arm down, bring your head back to neutral, and we'll repeat the movement on the other side. Drop your ear towards your shoulder. Release your opposite arm by your side, spiral your palm open, take your fingertips to your shoulder. Slowly float your arm down, bring your head back to neutral. As ready, turn your gaze looking past your shoulder. Pause, and then visualize moving your chin up and down slightly. Imagination is powerful. As ready, move your head back through center. Turning your gaze, looking past your opposite shoulder. Pause, visualize moving your chin up and down slightly. And bring your head back to neutral. And so let's roll our shoulders back and down. Soft, organic movements, nothing rigid. And reverse the direction. As ready, we explore alternating from side to side. So one shoulder moves forward as the other moves back. And then reverse the direction. And when ready, turn your palms forward, bend your elbows, palms face away. Float your arms down. So we'll do this movement a few more times. Palms face forward, bend your elbows, palms face away. Float your arms down. Turn your palms forward, bend your elbows, palms face away, and release. And so let's do some movements for our hands. So if you'd like, you can imagine making soft fists that you're riding a motorcycle. And then we'll flex and extend our wrists. So motion is the motion. So we're getting that synovial fluid flowing into our joints. Mother Nature's WD-40. And then turn soft fists up and deviate your wrists from side to side. And release. Hands a little shake out. Nice. Okay. And so moving on, let's come into some of the movements of the spine. So I think we're going to jump right in. So, of course, we know that our spine matters. And so release your arms down by your side and then moving from side to side. So warming up our upper back. And so it's okay to take hold of the side of the chair. That helps with feeling stable, comfortable as you move. And then when you're ready, come back to a neutral spine. Rest your hands on your thighs or your knees. And we'll come into a gentle twist, pardon me. So sliding our hands towards our knees. So we are not coming into our full range of motion here. This is a gentle twist, warming up the spine. And slowly come on back to neutral spine. As ready, draw your hands in towards your hip creases. So you might have open palm or soft fist. Sitting up nice and tall. We are actually going to move forward and back. And so if you know balance is a challenge for you, make sure that you have whatever device you need to keep you stable in your chair. And so as ready, hinging from the hips, come forward with a flat back. So lead with the heart, not the head. And then rock back up. So hinging from the hips, rocking forward. And so noticing that sometimes when we come into this gentle forward fold, our chin wants to jump forward. So we want our chin tucked in slightly and then rock back up. And so in your own time and rhythm, for a few more breaths, or as long as feels comfortable, I'd like to invite you to keep this gentle movement flowing. And so it can be interesting to close our eyes as we practice some of these gentle movements. As ready, slowly come on back to neutral spine. Relax your arms by your side. Take a moment and notice how's your breath. Good. Our breath is one of our main teachers. It will let you know if you're moving too quickly or you're into a pose too deep. Sometimes you might notice when we're working too hard, we have a tendency to hold on to our breath. So our bodies talk to us. And so now let's come into a movement that I like to call stirring the pot. So again, our hands are in towards our hip creases. If possible, bring your knees a little wider than outer hip bone distance, and this will create a little more space for a Buddha belly. It's okay to have your toes turned outward. We want our knees tracking over our ankles if possible. And so let's begin with making circles coming forward, moving from our hips. And so this movement can feel a little bit strange if you're not accustomed to it. It's an invitation to move in your own time and rhythm and with your breath. And as you begin to feel your hips and lower back soften and release, see if you can go a little bit deeper. So moving your shoulders towards your knees. And of course, we're not going to come all the way down to our knees. And then slowly as ready, begin to move in the opposite direction. And an invitation to bring a gentle awareness to the space in front of you. And bring your awareness to the space beside you. And notice how that feels. Bring your awareness to the space above you. And especially to the space behind you. And trust that you are being supported. So I like to think in terms of we. Trust that we are being supported. And slowly make your way back to a neutral spine. Relax your arms down by your side. And take a moment to let your breath come back to its natural rhythm. So your natural rhythm, maybe observing the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. And so moving on, let's do a little shake out again, wavy fidgets, a little bum dance. Dance like a toddler. So let's repose. Make sure your feet are placed evenly on your footrest or on the floor. Sits bones are sharp on the chair. Our spine is long. Shoulders are back and down. Lift up through the crown of your head. And from here, I'd like to invite you to join me in a practice of a modified eagle pose. And so bend your elbows, palms facing each other. Reach across, cup your elbow point. And then let that same shoulder soften away from your ear. And then draw your arm into the midline. Maybe on an inhale, it feels okay to reach up a little higher. And then exhale, release. Inhale, maybe reaching up a little higher. And this time, if you'd like, hinging from the hips, come forward a little. So rooting down through your feet. Imagine that eagle high up in the tree. Remember to breathe. Yeah. Slowly come back to neutral spine. Release your arm down. Woo-hoo. Eagle pose. So a lot of neck and shoulder stuff's going on these days. So actually always, I think, but maybe even a little more so these days. So these lovely poses can help release the tension in your neck and shoulders. And so let's bend our elbows. Whatever we do on one side, we do on the other if possible. Cup your opposite elbow. Let that same shoulder soften away from your ear. And so if you can bring your elbow wrist in line, go for it. And then draw your arm in towards the midline. Maybe on an inhale, it feels okay to reach up a little higher. And then release. Inhale, reach up a little higher. And this time, if you'd like, maybe exploring hinging from the hips, come forward a little. Eagle pose. Slowly come out of the pose, come back to neutral spine. And relax, shoulders down, a little shake out again. So inhale, left, exhale, go. And so moving on, bring your arms up beside you. Turn your palms face up, turn your palms face down, and notice which feels better for you. Palms face up or palms face down. And then as ready, an invitation to cross one arm over the other. Take hold of your shoulders or wherever you can reach comfortably. And then see if you can walk your fingertips back a little. And drop your chin towards your chest. And then breathe in between your shoulder blades. Or you can, this feels like a lovely hug too. So you might think of this as an I love me hug. And then remembering which arm is on top, spread your wings, your arms out to the side again. So you might imagine that we're sending everyone we love, friends we haven't met yet. A big hug, virtual hug. And then cross the opposite arm over. Take hold of your shoulders, drop your chin towards your chest. And I love me hug. And because I love me, I can love all of you. And so again, imagining we're sending everyone a big, big, big hug. And then slowly float your arms down. And we'll shake And so neck and shoulders warmed up. And so let's get into a practice called sun breath. And so this is a practice that my teachers that I study with for several years, and we teach almost every class. And so sun breath is a meditation on the heart, and it's a gentle chest opener. And so a little gray, overcast today, you're rainy. But, so let's begin by bringing our hands together in prayer pose at our heart center. And again, take a moment. So notice, does it feel okay to have my hands here? Or does it feel better to have my hands placed on my Buddha belly? So whichever placement of your hands. On inhale, extend your arms up and away. And so your arms might be a little higher than mine, maybe lower. So I feel pretty good with my arms in line with my shoulders today. And then making soft bends, bring your hands back to your heart center. Or your Buddha belly, whichever suits you. And so inhale, and if you'd like, just imagine the sun at your heart center. And as we inhale and we extend our arms up and away, imagine the beautiful radiant light of the sun radiating out all around you. And then gather that light and bring it back inside. So it's a symbol of the light that's always inside us. And this time, as we exhale and bring our hands towards our Buddha belly or heart, I'd like to invite you to explore making a humming sound. Inhale. So you might notice the humming sound. Sounds a bit like a bumblebee, and it helps to lengthen your breath. Inhale. Stretch your fingers wide. Exhale, soft fist. Rest one hand on your Buddha belly, the other on your heart center. So I have to be mindful of this microphone. And take a moment to notice the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. And we'll shake it again. And so if you happen to hear the little pitter-patter of feet, I have my beloved Evie here today, my little buddy rabbit. I have him with me every day. But his favorite little, his happy place is a few feet away from me under our old sofa. So you might see him hopping around, or you might hear him tippity around. So, of course, we're practicing from home, so our fur babies are welcome. And so moving on. So let's, again, repose. So you might want to pull the buttock flesh away from your sits bones. Feet are firmly planted on the floor, on your footrest, not in the air. Spine is long, shoulders back and down. And then an invitation to join me in practicing or the movements of the spine. So I'd like to come into a side bend. And so for this version, take hold of the underside of your chair. Or if you are a wheelchair user, you might want to take hold of your wheel, whatever works for you. And then release your opposite arm by your side. Turn your palm face up. With a soft bend in your elbow, bring your arm up into a gold pose. If you have shoulder stuff going on today, it might feel good to rest your fingertips on your shoulder. It might feel great to reach your arm up and over to the side. And so today I'm going to keep my arm in a gold pose. And so whatever your version is, let's come into the side bend. Then turn your gaze down towards the floor and breathe into your rib cage. So can you imagine breathing in below your rib cage? Slowly float your arm down. Come out of the pose. Take a moment and we'll come into the side bend on the other side. And so take hold of the underside of your chair. And actually one modification that I did mention earlier is that you can place your hand at your hip if reaching your arm up doesn't feel good for you. And so yoga meets us exactly where we are. And so arm at the hip, maybe taking your arm up into gold pose, fingers resting on your shoulder or reaching up and over, and into our side bend. Turn your gaze down towards the floor to release your neck. Breathe into your rib cage. Keep your sit bone on the chair. Avoid collapsing forward. And slowly float your arm down. Come back to your neutral spine. Maybe. And release your arms by your side. Rest your hands on your lap. And let your breath settle. So let's come into the pose one more time on each side. Take hold of the underside of your chair. Release your opposite arm by your side. Palm face up. Take your arm into gold pose. Hand on your shoulder, maybe reaching up and over. Coming into our side bend. And so turn your gaze down towards the floor to release your neck. Keep your sit bone on the chair. And slowly come out of the pose on this side. So you notice if it feels a little different this time. And then so take a moment. As ready, take hold of the underside of your chair, maybe your wheel. Opposite arm by your side, turn your palm face up. Reach up. And then turn your gaze down towards the floor. So can you feel that you're creating space in your rib cage? Slowly come out of the pose, float your arm down, back to neutral spine. Shake out and then take a moment to again let your breath settle, come back to its natural rhythm. And so let's come into a seated twist. And so for this version, if possible, if you can bring your feet a little wider than outer hip bone distance, go for it. Making sure your knees are tracking over your ankles. So if your feet are out too far, your knees are going to have the tendency to rotate inwards. And so whatever width works, so knees tracking over ankles, okay to have your toes turned out. And then when you're ready, an invitation to bring your hands in prayer pose to your heart center. And then sitting up nice and tall. And then draw your elbow point down to your thigh or your knee. Your opposite elbow reaches up towards the sky. And then if it doesn't create tension in your neck, maybe gaze up past your elbow. And then as ready, slowly come out into the twist on this side. Take a moment. And let's come into it on the other side. It's ready, bring your elbow point down to your thigh. Might be that you need to bring your thigh to you by adding a prop, a block, or whatever works for you. Reaching your elbow up towards the sky, gazing up if that doesn't create tension in your neck. So press into your palms. And so I tweaked my lower back a little bit on the left side today. So this block Feels amazing. And then slowly come out of the pose on this side. If you use something to bring your thighs to you, place it on the floor again. And come back to neutral spine. And let your breath come back to its natural rhythm. And so let's come into a seated forward fold as a counter for the twist. And so taking hold of the underside of the chair, sit up nice and tall, hinging from the hips, rock forward. So coming forward with a flat back. Let your head hang slightly to release your neck, and then breathe into your lower back. Or you might imagine that your lungs are in your lower back. And slowly come out of the pose by pressing down through your inner heels. So it might be an energetic pressing down. Place one hand on each of your thigh. Come on back up. Walk yourself up. Okay, so from here, let's transition into sun salutations. So sun salutations, heating and strengthening. And so of course, making sure that our feet are placed evenly on the floor, on your footrests, sits bones are sharp on the chair. Your spine is long, shoulders back and down. Lift up through the crown of your head. So when ready, release your arms by your side. Take your hands to your heart center. Reach up into mountain pose. Maybe take a look between your palms. Notice if they're facing each other. If that doesn't create tension in your neck, and then return your gaze on the horizon. Maybe our hands come together in prayer down through to the heart. So if we bow our head to our heart, it gives us a little nerve flossing for our neck. Release your arms by your side. Spiral your palms open. Take your hands to your heart center. Reach up into mountain pose. Maybe our hands come together in prayer down through the heart. Release your arms by your side. Turn your palms face up. Take your hands to your heart center. Reach up into mountain pose. Maybe your hands come together in prayer down through the heart. Hinging from the hips, come into a forward fold. Take hold of the underside of your chair, your wheels, whatever works for you. Maybe walking your feet forward a little bit if that feels a little more stable. So forward fold. And then pressing down through your inner heels if you'd like, coming into downward facing dog. Reach your arms forward. Place your hands on your knees, your thighs, into baby cobra. Lift your heart. Looking up, shoulders back and down. Cat and cow, round your back. As you round your back, slide your hands away from you towards your knees. Chin in. And so we'll do this one more time. Inhale, arch your back. Exhale, round your back. As you round your back, draw your belly in towards your spine. And slowly come back to neutral spine. Release your arms by your side. Take your hands to your heart center. Reach up into mountain pose. Maybe our hands come together in prayer down through the heart. As ready, turn your torso towards your knee and then an invitation to float your hands over your knee. So grounding through your foot, imagine those roots down into the earth. Release your arms by your side. Take your hands to your heart center. Reach up into mountain pose. Maybe our hands come together in prayer down through the heart. Turn your torso towards your opposite knee. Float your hands over your knee. So rooting down to your foot. Release your arms by your side. Spiral your palms open. Take your hands to your heart center. reach up into mountain pose. Maybe our hands come together in prayer down through the heart. And so I'm thinking maybe one more round. Okay. And so it's early in the day. And so here we go. Release your arms by your side. Sitting up nice and tall. Take your hands to your heart center. Reach up to the sky, mountain pose. Take a look between your palms if it doesn't create tension in your neck. And then bring your hands together in prayer down through the heart. Release your arms by your side. Turn your palms face up. Take your hands into prayer at your heart center. Reach up to the sky. And maybe your hands come together in prayer down through the heart. So this time, hinging from the hips, rock forward. Take hold of the underside of your chair. Forward fold, tuck your chin in slightly. Then pressing down through your inner heels, if you'd like, reaching forward, downward facing dog. Place your hands on your knees, your thighs. Lift your heart, looking up slightly. Baby cobra. Round your back. As you round your back, coming into cat and cow, draw your navel in towards your spine. On inhale, arch your back. Sliding your hands towards your knees. On exhale, round your back. As you round your back, draw your navel in towards your spine. So you might notice that naturally as we round our spine, our belly moves in. And slowly come back to neutral spine. Release your arms by your side. Take your hands to your heart center. Reach up into mountain pose. Maybe your hands come together in prayer down through the heart. Turn your torso towards your knee. Float your hands down over your knees. Release your arms by your side. Take your hands to your heart. Reach up into mountain pose. Maybe your hands come together in prayer down through the heart. Turn your torso towards your opposite knee. Float your hands down, grounding through your feet and foot. Release your arms by your side, palms face up. And here, let's just take our hand, one to our heart center, the other to our Buddha belly. And take a rest. Maybe feeling the rise and fall of your chest and your belly. And so we'll come down off the mountain. And so come on, seated comfortably back in your chair in preparation for guided pranayama. So breathing exercise, meditation, and your final relaxation. So make sure you have what you need to stay warm. And so if you'd like, placing a blanket on your thighs can help with fatigue. The bit of weight for some folks can encourage a grounding sensation. I'm actually going to turn the light down a little bit and grab my sweater. So, yeah, so find a comfortable sitting position. So you come seated back in your chair. If you want, you put a rolled up yoga mat along your spine, maybe a bolster if you happen to have a bolster. I like the rectangle bolsters. They come in round. The rectangle I find is more useful on multiple levels. But yeah, so if you'd like, also, I have a movement disorder and it's an intention tremor. And so I sometimes like to have something in my hands that helps calm the tremor a bit. And it can just help remove some of that stiffness in our hands and our fingers. So these little eye pillows can be useful for that, as well as placing our eyes when we come into our final relaxation. Anyway, so for now, the practice that I would like to share with you, the pranayama, breathing exercise. So of course, our breath happens naturally, but we can also control our breath. So we can use it to calm our nervous system or to energize. And so in this case, we're moving, we're coming down off the mountain and moving towards meditation, final relaxation. So we want to calm our nervous system, our breath. And so this particular breathing exercise I haven't taught for a while, and it's with a meditation on our spine. And so I'd like to invite you to begin by resting your hands on your thighs, palm up or down as desired. And then an invitation to close your eyes softly if that feels comfortable for you, or soften your gaze. And then I'd like you to, an invitation to visualize the entire length of your spine. So you might begin at the tip of your tailbone, visualizing. So imagine, visualize the entire length of your spine, and then up to the crown of your head. And then when ready, an invitation on your next inhale to visualize that you're breathing from the tip of your tailbone all the way up along your spine to the crown of your head. And then on your exhale, visualize that you're exhaling from the crown of your head all the way down along your spine to the tip of your tailbone. And so I'd like to invite you to keep this gentle breathing exercise flowing in your own time and rhythm. And so it might feel as though on our inhale that you might feel a lightness, and on your exhale, a grounding sensation. And so I will join you in that practice on your own time and rhythm, just for a few breaths, or as long as it feels comfortable. And then when ready, allow your breath to come back to its natural rhythm. Maybe notice if you felt a subtle shift in your energy. And so when we practice these simple breathing exercises in a way that acts like a bridge between our body and our mind. And so now I'd like to invite you to join me in a meditation practice. And so today, invitation to bring your hands into a mudra. So mudra is a hand gesture. And so mudras are created to help us focus our minds. And so this is a mudra that I learned recently that I love. And it's called the mudra hand gesture, if you like, of calm abiding. And so simply it's placing our hands palms face down on our thighs. And so if this placement of your hands works for you, lovely. If not, choose another placement for your hands. And one of the gifts that my teachers in India gave me one day that I brought back from India with me is to think of, if you'd like, when you bring your hands into a mudra, think of it as a symbol of connecting with your higher self or your higher power. And then draw your hands in towards your hip creases. And feel free to have your eyes open or closed. And then an invitation to breathe into your heart. You might look down and into your heart, see what you can see. And so the meditation is by Thich Nhat Hanh, beloved Zen Buddhist monk who recently passed away, as some of you might know, or many of you. So it goes like this. Breathing in, I know that I'm breathing in. I'm breathing out, I know that I'm breathing out. As my in-breath grows deep, my out-breath grows slow. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Dwelling in the present moment, I know this is a wonderful moment. We'll sit and breathe together for a few moments with a gentle reminder. Breathing. Come into whatever comfortable sitting position you'd like for your final relaxation. And make sure you have what you need to stay warm. And so I'm going to take this little blanket, put it on my thighs. And so it's still winter time on the coast. And so when you're ready, roll your shoulders back and down just a few times. So not scrunching your shoulder blades up towards your ears or your shoulders up towards your ears, but allowing your shoulders to soften away from your ears. Close your eyes softly if that feels comfortable for you, or soften your gaze. And so if you're wearing glasses, you might want to remove your glasses. Rest your hands, palms face up or down as desired. Maybe feeling the weight of your hands grounding down through your legs to your feet. So giving you a sense of connection with Mother Earth. Soft Buddha belly, the area between our navel and our pubic bone. And soften your jaw. Unclench your teeth. Let there be a little space between your teeth. Soften your lower jaw. And soften around your temples. Soften the area between your eyebrows. wide forehead. Silently, if you'd like, on inhale, say let. On exhale, go. Inhale, let. Exhale, go. It's challenging to quiet the mind. Placing our hands on our Buddha belly and bringing our awareness to our breath can be helpful. And so without changing anything, bring your awareness back to your breath. Thank your body again. And so our bodies are the best home our mind will ever have. And now see if you can begin to deepen your inhale and lengthen your exhale. Wiggle your fingers and toes, hands and feet, waking up. Rub the tips of your thumbs with your fingers if you like. Come on up seated comfortably to finish your yoga practice. So take a moment to bring the intention, if you set one at the beginning of the class, back to mind, and then let it go. Notice how you feel before and after your yoga practice. And so the teacher in me honors and appreciates the teacher in each of you. And again, a big thank you to ConnecTogether, my wonderful tech host, Kassar, and the Disability Foundation for giving us this opportunity to hang out and do yoga together. Thank you. And so feel free to stay for a little bit if you'd like. Any questions or feedback, always love to hear from you, of course. And so
Thank you, Bobbie. I really enjoyed breathing up and down through my spine.
Oh, awesome. Hey, appreciate that feedback. Just going to come in a little closer. And I noticed something in the chat, so I'm just going to take a look here, what that might be. Oh, there's two. Thank you. Wonderful session. Oh, Marty. Huh. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm so glad. Yeah, I used to actually teach that quite a lot when I was teaching at Park, the Spinal Cord Research Center. And I thought sometimes, things kind of pop into my head. There's so many wonderful yoga toys to choose from. But
that was one that you chose from. I liked it.
Oh, great. Yeah, lots of yoga toys in my yoga toy box. And I hope you ladies and gentlemen, whoever's out there, that you have a yoga toy box to fill it.
I think you're yoga toy box.
Oh, what's that?
I think you're in my yoga toy box.
Oh,
you're,
that's funny.
You're the one you're keeping me sane during this time with your yoga practice.
Oh, well, I appreciate. Yeah, none of us get through this amazing life alone. And so community, I think, is the greatest gift of our yoga practice, next to our breath, of course. Yeah, for some reason, I think about the Velveteen Rabbit. So here, hopefully, I know everyone that I can see at least you guys have been doing your practice for a long time now. So I really appreciate that. And hopefully we'll have an ongoing conversation and who knows, maybe meet in person one day again. But for now, this is such an amazing gift that we get to gather together.
Yes.
And lots of silver linings for sure.
Thank you so much, Bobbie. Have a lovely day.
Well.
Thank you,
Bye.
Bobbie.
Bye, Josie.
Bye, Bobbie. Thank you very much.
Yeah, bye, Janet.
Okay, Bobby. See you next week.
Right on. I'll be here. Be here. What is it? Be there or be square?
Yeah.